You put your dirty shirt in the washing machine, pour in some soap, and press a button. But wait, there's another button that says hot, warm, and cold. Which one do you pick? I mean, does it really matter? Spoiler alert, it absolutely does matter, and today I'm going to explain why water temperature is super important when washing clothes like you're 5 years old. Now here's what you need to know. Water temperature affects just how well soap actually cleans your clothes, whether your clothes will shrink or fade, and how much energy you use. Hot water cleans tough stains but can damage fabrics and fade colors. Cold water is gentle and saves money, but struggles with greasy stains. Warm water is like the Goldilocks zone for most everyday clothes. Pick the wrong temperature and you might ruin your favorite shirt or waste money heating water that you didn't need. Let me show you why this matters. Think of your washing machine like a tiny swimming pool for your clothes. Just like when you take a bath, the temperature makes a big difference in how clean you get. When your mom or dad runs you a warm bath, it feels nice and helps get the dirt off better than cold water, right? Well, your clothes feel the same way about their bath time. Let's start with what actually happens when you wash clothes. Inside your washing machine, there's water, soap, and your dirty clothes all swishing around together like a giant soup. The soap is like tiny invisible helpers that grab onto dirt and pull it away from your clothes. But these tiny soap helpers work better or worse depending on how hot or cold the water is. It's like how some of your toys work better when the batteries are fresh versus when they're almost dead. Hot water is like giving those tiny soap helpers super strength. When water is hot, it makes everything move faster and work harder. The soap molecules get really excited and start bouncing around like kids who just had too much candy. They zoom around, grabbing dirt and stains and pulling them right off your clothes. Hot water also makes the fibers in your clothes open up a little bit, kind of like how your pores open up in a hot shower. When the fibers open up, it's easier for the soap helpers to get in there and pull all of that yucky stuff that's hiding. But hot water isn't always the best choice. Sometimes hot water can be a little too excited and strong. Imagine if you had a friend who was really good at cleaning but was also really rough. They might clean your room really well, but they might also accidentally break some of your favorite toys. Hot water can be just like that rough friend. It can make some clothes shrink, which means they get smaller. It can also make bright colors fade, turning your favorite red shirt into a sad pink shirt. And some delicate clothes, like your fancy dress-up clothes, might get damaged because hot water is just too strong for them. But cold water is like having a gentle friend help you clean. Cold water and soap still work together to get dirt out, but they do it more carefully and slowly. The tiny soap helpers don't bounce around as much. They move more like you do when you're being extra careful not to wake up a sleeping baby. Cold water is really good for dark clothes because it helps keep the colors bright and beautiful. It's also good for delicate clothes that might get hurt by hot water. And here's a cool fact. Cold water doesn't make your clothes shrink, so your favorite t-shirt will stay the same size. But cold water has a weakness. It's not as good at getting out really tough stains or really greasy, oily dirt. Think about when you try to wash something greasy off your hands with just cold water. It doesn't work as well as warm water, does it? The same thing happens with your clothes. Cold water and soap can clean normal everyday dirt just fine, but they might struggle with things like grass stains from playing outside or food stains from that time that you dropped spaghetti on your shirt. Warm water is like that nice middle choice, the Goldilocks option. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's just right for most clothes. Warm water gives the tiny soap helpers enough energy to work really well, but not so much energy that they get rough and damage your clothes. Most of your everyday clothes, like t-shirts, jeans, and socks, love warm water. It's strong enough to get them really clean, but gentle enough that they won't get damaged. Now, let's talk about different types of stains, because not all messes are created equal. Some stains are like easy puzzles that even cold water can solve. Other stains are like really hard puzzles that need that extra power of hot water to figure out. Protein stains come from things like blood, sweat, or food with protein in it, like milk or eggs. These stains are tricky because if you use hot water on them, they can actually get stuck in your clothes forever. It's like when you cook an egg and the white part gets hard and stuck to the pan. Hot water can make protein stains cook into your clothes the same way. For protein stains, you want to use cold water so they don't get cooked and stuck. This is why if you get a bloody nose on your shirt, you should rinse it in cold water right away, not hot water. Oil and grease stains, though, are different. These come from things like butter, cooking oil, or the natural oils from your skin. Oil and grease are like that friend who really doesn't want to leave the party. They stick around and don't go away. Hot water helps because it makes the oil more liquid and easier for the soap helpers to grab and pull it away. It's like how butter goes soft and melty when it's warm, making it easier to spread or clean up. Regular dirt and mud, though, are usually pretty easy to clean with any temperature of water, but warm water often works best because it gives the soap helpers enough energy to work efficiently without being too rough on your clothes. The type of fabric that your clothes are made from also matters a lot when choosing water temperature. Cotton clothes, like most t-shirts and jeans, are pretty tough and can usually handle warm or even hot water. Cotton is like that friend who's really sturdy and can handle rough play, but even cotton can shrink a little bit if you wash it in really hot water and then dry it on a high heat, which is why some people buy clothes that are slightly bigger than they need, knowing that they'll shrink a tiny bit after they wash them. Synthetic fibers, which are clothes made from materials that aren't natural like cotton, often prefer cooler water because they get damaged or even melt in water that's too hot. Polyester, nylon, and spandex are all synthetic fabrics that you might have in your clothes. These materials are made from chemicals and plastics, and just like how a plastic toy can melt if it gets too hot, synthetic clothes can get weird and damaged in really hot water. They might lose their stretch, get shiny spots, or even get little melted areas. Wool clothes are extra special and need extra gentle care. Wool comes from sheep, and it's kind of like sheep hair. Just like how your hair could get damaged if you're too rough with it, wool can get damaged, shrink, or become fuzzy if you wash it in water that's too hot. Wool usually likes cold water or barely warm water. Delicate fabrics like silk or lace are like your most fragile toys. They need to be treated very carefully with cold water so they don't get ruined. Most clothes have little tags inside them to tell you how to wash them. These tags are like instruction manuals for your clothes. They might have symbols that show whether you use hot water, warm, or cold water. Learning to read these tags is like learning a secret code that helps you take better care of your clothes. Sometimes the tag will also tell you the maximum temperature that the water should be, like wash in water no hotter than 30 degrees Celsius or warm water only. If you ignore these tags and just wash everything in hot water, you might end up with a shirt that used to fit you but now only fits your little sister's teddy bear. Here's something interesting. Not all washing machines heat water the same way. Some washing machines heat the water themselves, which means they can control exactly how hot it gets. Other washing machines just use whatever hot or cold water comes from your house's pipes. In houses with really good water heaters, hot might mean very hot water. In other houses, hot might just mean warm. This is why following care labels is extra important. Your washing machine's version of hot might be hotter or cooler than what your clothes actually need. Energy and money are also important parts of the water temperature story. Heating water takes energy, kind of like how it takes more energy to run really fast and to walk slowly. When your washing machine heats water, it uses electricity or gas, and that costs money. Cold water doesn't need to be heated, so using cold water can save your family money on their energy bills. It's also better for the environment because using less energy means less pollution. In fact, about 90% of the energy that your washing machine uses goes towards heating the water, not toward the actual spinning and washing. That means if you switch from hot to cold water, you're saving almost all of the energy that washing machines would use. Over a whole year, this can add up to some real money. Some families save over $100 a year just by switching to cold water for most loads. That's enough money to buy several new video games or go out for pizza multiple times. Many families are starting to use cold water for most of their laundry because modern soaps and detergents have gotten much better at working in cold water. These new soaps have extra strong tiny helpers that can work well even when they're not heated up. It's like having toys that work just as well with old batteries as they do with new ones. There are also some special tricks you can use to make cold water work even better. You can pre-treat stains by putting a little soap directly on them before washing. This gives the soap helpers a head start on fighting the stain. You can also let really dirty clothes soak in some cold soapy water for a while before washing them, which gives the soap helpers more time to work on getting the dirt out. Some people even keep a spray bottle with diluted detergent near their laundry basket so they can spray stains right away before they even have time to set in. Another trick is to turn your clothes inside out before washing them. This protects the outside colors and designs from rubbing against other clothes and fading. It's especially useful for graphic t-shirts, dark jeans, and anything with prints or patterns. The inside of your clothes is what gets the sweatiest and dirtiest anyway, so turning them inside out actually helps clean the parts that need it most. Sometimes people think that hot water kills germs better than cold water, and that's partially true. Hot water can kill some germs, but the soap is actually doing most of the germ-fighting work. Soap is really good at grabbing germs and washing them away, even in cold water. It's like how washing your hands with soap and cold water still gets them clean and germ-free. If you're really worried about germs though, like when someone in your family is sick, you can add a little bit of bleach to your white clothes or use a disinfecting laundry product. But for everyday washing, regular soap and any temperature water will get your clothes clean and germ-free. Here's a fun fact. In some countries, most people actually use cold water for almost all of their laundry, and their clothes come out just as clean as clothes washed in hot water. This shows that with the right soap and techniques, cold water can be just as effective as hot water for most cleaning jobs. So let's recap this whole splashing adventure. Water temperature matters when washing clothes because it affects how well the soap can grab and remove dirt, how your clothes fibers react, and whether your clothes might shrink or fade. Hot water gives soap extra power but can be rough on clothes and colors. Cold water is gentle and saves energy, but might not tackle tough stains as well. Warm water is usually the perfect middle ground for most clothes. The key, though, is matching the right temperature to your clothes' needs. So be sure to check those little tags inside your clothes. Think about what kind of stains you're dealing with, and remember that cold water works great for most everyday laundry while saving money and energy. Now go forth and become the laundry temperature master that your clothes deserve.